All right, so I totally did not plan this, but Honey just came and knocked on the she shed door. So she's just gonna be part of this too. Say hello, hello, hello. She's such a lovely thing. Anyway, hello and welcome. My name is Shannon from TheDailyDIYer.com, and I have a huge announcement. Finally a huge announcement for everyone today. But before we get to that, I have a freebie for you. So let's dive into some spring and Easter crafting first. So I want to show you the freebies first. There are actually 6 different designs. All you have to do is go down to the description box below, click the link, and it will take you over to the files where you can download them. Pick and choose your favorites, or you can have all of them if you like. We're going to use them to create some really beautiful Easter and springtime canvas prints that look like art, but without all the work. Lucky for us, Dollar Tree has some really affordable canvases. I grabbed 3 of these 6x8 size ones, but you can create whatever size canvas works for you. I'm also using ones with the wood frames in them, but again, they have the flat ones. You could use those too. I printed off my first design. We're going to work with this one here, and as you can see, I made it sized to the size of the canvas. So keep that in mind when you download those files. You can blow them up, make them smaller if you want. And we're going to use some handy dandy Mod Podge for this. Now, I don't know about you, but I am not the greatest at Mod Podge, and I have done a lot of it in the past, and I don't know what it is, but I can never get it perfect without bubbles, without wrinkles. So we're going to embrace that, and we're actually going to make this look distressed. And we want those creases, we want those bubbles, we want these to not look perfect. So I put a big coat of Mod Podge onto the canvas first, laid our print on top of that, and then focused on the edges. We want to make sure that the edges are good and secured down with the Mod Podge. So just using a paintbrush here to go underneath the paper and on top of it, and then give the whole thing a good coat of Mod Podge on top of the print. And then once you have a good coat on there, we're gonna come in with a paintbrush, and here is the little trick we're gonna do. We're gonna dip that into the Mod Podge and sort of stipple it onto the canvas. And we're gonna kind of create some texture on here by letting there be some thicker spots of the Mod Podge instead of brushing it out thin. Now here's my best tip here is the ink from the printables do start to smear and come up. So do the lightest colors of your print first and then move to the darker ones last. I also wiped some of it off to the side, came in with some fresh Mod Podge so I didn't get sort of a brown finish, which you can kind of see here. And got some of that off, replaced it with the clear, and really don't worry because it's gonna dry clear and you're not gonna see it so much anyway. But here is what it looks like. This is the next day. I did 3 of them, as I said, all the same way, just stippling it with a paintbrush. I want to give you 3 different ways to finish these off once they're dry. The first way is to use some paint. So I'm using some chalk paint here, using a foam paintbrush, going around the edge, not just the edge of the painting, but also the edge of the canvas so it all blends together. We're just pulling some of that paint onto the paper on the front and kind of framing it out, but again, embracing the sort of messiness of this, the non-perfect look of this, and just kind of dabbing it on and distressing it. The next way to finish these off is so pretty, and that is using some gold leafing. So if you've never tried this before, it is super duper easy. You use an adhesive very similar to Mod Podge, but it's not going to dry all the way. You're actually going to paint this on and then let it sit for about 5 minutes, and it's going to tack up and it's going to get sticky. And then we want that to happen because we're going to lay some gold leafing in that. And I will link this down in the description box below for you because you can find this on Amazon really, really affordably. And the only other thing you're going to need is a really soft paintbrush. So to do this is after it's sat for about 5 minutes and that adhesive is tacked up, we're going to take the gold leafing sheets and kind of lay it down into that adhesive, and then take our really soft paintbrush and knock off any of the excess that is not being secured by the adhesive. Now we're going to work our way all the way around the edges here, and as you notice, just like the paint, I also put some of that adhesive onto the front so we can pull some of that gold leafing onto the front of this photo, and it's going to give it such a beautiful glistening tone, gold leafing tone, and make for something that looks really high-end once it's done. And here's what it's gonna look like after I finish knocking off all the adhesive gold leafing. So pretty, definitely embracing that sort of old world antique-y look. Now, speaking of antiques, we're gonna take for our next way to finish this off some antiquing gold rub and buff. This is super easy to do. It's gonna give you a really beautiful look in the end as well. All you have to do is take that rub and buff, put it onto a paper towel, and then rub it onto the canvas. So I am going all the way around the outside edge of the canvas, and again, pulling it onto the front of our photo. So just kind of dabbing it on there. And then we're gonna come in and we're going to actually buff it out. It's going to set it into the canvas, into the photo, into the Mod Podge, just buffing it out, still keeping with that antique-y kind of old world look. Here's what that rub and buff looks like after it's completely applied. Such a pretty look, still keeping with that old world aged look that I love so much. But here's what they all look like finished. Let me know down in the comments below which one of these is your favorite finish, either the painted edge, the gold leafing edge, or the rub and buff edge. I definitely think it's too hard for me to choose a favorite. I think they are all just so beautiful. So I hope you will give these a try, and don't forget to head down to the description box for those free printables. Now for the big announcement. I have been holding this back for so long, so it feels so good to finally announce that the Daily DIYer Etsy shop is now open for business. So if you've been around for a while, you know I've had an Etsy shop for a long time, over 10 years, like that long, and it has had a journey of different things that I've offered on there. And about 2 years ago, it just kind of got to be extremely overwhelming, and I closed it down, and it was on vacation, like a very extended, long vacation. But as of today, right now, you can go over to TheDailyDIYer.etsy.com and check out the brand new Etsy shop that I am so excited to bring to you. So what's going to be in the Etsy shop? You're going to be able to find the stencils, decals, designs, files, PNG files, SVG files that I'm actually using in the projects that I share with you here on the Daily DIYer YouTube channel. Which is actually what I used to sell in my Etsy shop for a couple years, was the stencils and the decals, because I got so many comments saying that people didn't want to buy a Cricut machine. It was too expensive to buy a Cricut machine. They didn't want to learn a Cricut machine, or they had bought one and it was just too much for them. So again, that is what I'm doing. I am extending the decals and the stencils to you. If you don't want to mess around with a vinyl cutting machine, I make it easy for you to still create and craft with, just without the machine. So I'm gonna be doing all the work for you. You don't have to worry about that. But if you do have a Cricut machine or a vinyl cutting machine, I am still making it easy for you to recreate these projects, because I will have those files available for you, the PNG files and the SVG files, which will allow you to cut the designs with your own machine. But I'm not doing this alone. I'm actually having my husband help me with this business venture, which is why I went ahead and decided to reopen up this shop. It's still extremely overwhelming for me, but now that I have him on board, he has been home with me for about 2 years now, helping to raise our family and help with this business. And now this fall, we're gonna have 2 girls going off to college, so we'll have a little bit more free time. I'm not sure if we really will have free time or not. But he really wanted to jump right in with this business and help more, and this is definitely a way he's gonna be able to do it. And he's fully capable, so don't worry. He actually used to have a custom car business, and he did a lot of vinyl work. He even did the vinyl work for the police cars in the community, so he definitely has the skills to do this. So we'll be working alongside each other to bring you some new designs, new decals, new stencils to help you get creative, and you'll be able to either recreate the projects that I'm showing you in videos, or you'll be able to take those things and create your own designs, as I know you all are so creative here. So I know that's a lot, that's a mouthful, but I want to give you all a big grand opening celebration discount code, which is DIY Friend, which will save you 10% off every single one of your orders from now until the end of March 2024. I'm also gonna offer the first 25 orders a little special gift and treat inside. So not only are you gonna get 10% off, but you're gonna get a special gift as well, just as a huge appreciation and thank you from us as we take on this new business venture together. So let's dive in to the next spring and Easter crafts, which will feature the brand new designs that you'll be able to find in our Etsy shop.
For this one, we are gonna need a picture frame. So grab out one of your old picture frames, or I love these 7x7 size ones you can get from the Dollar Tree, keeping this one super affordable. We are gonna remove the back of this picture frame and we are just gonna take out the glass and work with that to start with. Now I'm so excited to feature our first design in the Etsy shop, which is this beautiful Hello Spring with a wreath design. If you purchase the decal, it will come completely ready to go with the transfer tape on top, just like this one. You'll take a squeegee, or you can use a debit card, popsicle stick, rub it so you put some pressure on there. Make sure to transfer all the vinyl to that top transfer sheet. And then if you have any left over, go ahead, repress it. Very, very slowly, you want to peel this off from the paper backing until you have everything transferred onto that transfer tape, and then you'll be able to apply it to your surface. In this case, it is the glass from our picture frame. I'm going to add this little tip in there too. It does help if you're using glass to put some kind of cutting mat under it. It's going to help you see through it and see the center of your glass. You get a perfect centered design. So once I had that applied, peeled off the transfer tape, we have this pretty design left that we can now decorate with. So I've flipped this over to the back side and we are going to actually take these really cool watercolor brush markers to add some color. So as you can see, I'm just using it like a regular marker and filling in some of the leaves using a couple different tones of green so we get some nice color in there. You can do that, or you can get super creative like I did and actually went outside the lines. It's okay to do that sometimes. So I could add even more color to the vines and the outsides of the leaves so you really get lots of color on that wreath. Now we need a new backing to our design, so I just used some white cardstock here, cut down to 7x7, which is the size of my picture frame, but you cut yours to the size of your frame. And now you can see our pretty colors starting to come through the front. Now I did go a little bit crazy, so a little tip here is to come in with a baby wipe and you can go in and simply just remove some of the color where, you know, you just weren't very happy with it or you got a little overzealous with it, and then let that dry. Put the white paper on, the backing of your frame on, and now we have a beautiful springtime design that you can use in your decor. I hope that this inspired you to do your own designs, to add some vinyl onto the front of a picture frame and then color in the back side. I will say if you don't have a vinyl machine, you can use a Sharpie marker and create your own design on the glass, or you can always head over to my Etsy shop to purchase the decal ready to go for you. Or if you have a vinyl machine, I will also have that file there for you to be able to download as well. I hope you grabbed some of these rolling pin signs from Dollar Tree last fall. As I mentioned, definitely grab some now. They're going to be great for crafting with year round. So that's what we're going to be doing for this project. But if not, grab a piece of scrap wood, and you can find these pegs on Amazon that I'll link down below for you so you can create your own. You just glue them onto the sides of the wood, pretty easy. But if you can find these rolling pins last fall at Dollar Tree, this is going to save you some time. So the Dollar Tree ones came with some raffia on it. I just pulled that off, and then I wanted to really neutralize all of this, so I gave it 2 coats of gray paint to cover up the wording and then repainted it in white so I could have a blank canvas. So after 2 coats of gray and 2 coats of white paint, we're going to come in with some painter's tape and tape off the sign part so we can paint the handles. Now I am super obsessed with the color lavender and pastel purple right now, if you can't tell by my fingernails. So you're going to see a lot of that this spring. So I'm grabbing out that beautiful colored paint and we're going to paint the handles the lavender color, but you get creative and you can always paint yours whatever are your favorite colors. So these handles got 2 coats of that purple paint, let it dry, and now we can remove the painter's tape. And look how easy it was to take that rolling pin from fall to springtime, and now we can add our decal. I love this. It says Cottontail Candy Company. It's gonna come just like this if you order it from our Etsy shop with the transfer tape on top. So we're applying some pressure with a squeegee and then slowly removing the transfer tape from the paper backing, and then it's ready to apply to our surface, in this case, this springtime rolling pin. Once you have your decal centered, come back in with your squeegee, press it down again with some more pressure, and then slowly remove the transfer tape, and it will reveal your design. I just love decals because they really take something that looks simple from Dollar Tree, something unaffordable, but makes it look super duper high end and finished and professional. So now we are going to take some ribbon. I love this beautiful chiffon ribbon that I get from Amazon. I'll link it down below for you too. We're gonna add some of that to each one of the handles just to give it some more color and softness. And here's what that finished product is going to look like. So cute for your Easter kitchen or for a tiered tray. So again, mentioning you can find this decal in our Etsy shop, and also you'll be able to find the SVG and PNG files so you can create your own. I love the Dollar Tree carries scrap wood or unfinished wood pieces. You can kind of create and build your own thing without having to go to the hardware store. And for this project, I grabbed one of their 1x6s. It's about 7.5 inches long. If you can't find these at Dollar Tree, head to the hardware store. You probably could save some money actually purchasing a longer 1x6 and then cutting it down, and you'll get several pieces out of that. But if not, you can find these at Dollar Tree. You're going to save yourself some time and work, which is what I appreciate. And I'm just taking this 1x6 and painting it white. Next, you're gonna need one of these cute candle cups, which I found mine at Hobby Lobby, but you can also find them on Amazon, so I'll link them down below for you. We're gonna come in with some brown wax and just using a paintbrush to paint it on, but you could also use brown chalk paint, brown acrylic paint, use what you got on hand, and we're just trying to make this look like a stained wood. Once your white piece of wood is dry, you can add your decals. This is actually a original design that I've had in my Etsy shop for a long time, so it may look familiar if you've been around a while, but I wanted to bring original design back, especially this one that just is really classy looking, and we're gonna take that and we are going to add it to the front of this piece of wood. Easy peasy, just centering it on the wood, taking the squeegee over it, and making sure we get a good transfer before removing the transfer tape from the top. Now, I will never stop preaching to always use what you have. So if you don't have a vinyl machine, you don't want to shop at my Etsy shop, not a problem. Grab out a Sharpie marker, a paint pen, and you can create your own design on this too. It's totally up to you. I just like to be able to give you guys options if you do want to 100% recreate this project, or you have one in mind so you can make your own. So now that we have our decal on the front of the sign, I'm using some Dollar Tree jute here, just wrapped it around a few times on one end, tied a knot in the back, and then cut off the excess. We're gonna repeat that on the right side as well. It's gonna give us some texture and some style to our sign. Looks pretty cute, doesn't it? Very, very easy to do. You could leave it like this, or we're gonna grab out our candle cup, add some hot glue to a couple spots on the top, and then put our sign right on top of that. Let it sit for a second, let that glue cure and dry, and now we have a raised, beautiful home sweet home sign. And for the last time, I'm going to mention that I will have this decal available in my Etsy shop, as well as the PNG and SVG files.
And don't forget to head down to the description box below to download that free printable so you get to crafting and creating with that. And thank you in advance to anyone who takes a second to go check out our new Etsy shop. I will have the QR code on your screen and a link down in the description box below for you. And if you have any special requests for certain designs, leave those down in the comments below for me. Some of those requests may become reality. As always, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you are new, and I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. I will see you in the next one. Have a very creative day.